Hey guys, we're here. This is it. This is the semifinals of the GPSL, and our semifinal battle is going to be up against ohGrant, who we just battled last week. So I'm fresh off of the win from him. That doesn't mean he's not a good battler, because he absolutely 100% is. So I still have to take this match very seriously. Look at what I did right against him. Look at what I did wrong against him. Over on the other side, just in case you were curious, the other side of the bracket is Rezilient and Sacred Thunder. So Rezilient, who we played week 6, and Sacred Thunder, who we played, I want to say week 2 back in the day. So the winner of that game will play either myself or Grant, whoever wins this game between us, for the championship of the GPSL. So real quick, we'll go over ohGrant's team. He has Mega Altaria, Jirachi, excadrill, Superior, Feraligatr, Rotom Heat, Snorlax, Braviary, Hitmonlee, Spiritomb, Weezing, and Ditto. Of course, you guys know my team. It's Mega Lopunny, Latias, Clefable, Skarmory, Arcanine, Milotic, Crocodile, Cofagrigus, Ambipom, Rotom-Mow, Steelix, and Regirock. Looking at the match I had against him last week, I liked Skarmory, but at the same time, Skarmory is really simple. I figured he would be prepping a little bit more for Skarmory because he realized it did a lot to wall his team. So I figured the biggest thing that could help him against me would be especially offensive Mega Altaria rather than a physical one with maybe Fire Blast. So this is the best possible thing I would have for that because I resist both of his stabs. So here we have Amigo, our Arcanine, holding the leftovers with the ability Intimidate, has Flare Blitz, Toxic, Roar, and Morning Sun with 248 HP, 8 attack, and 252 defense with an Impish nature. That investment is really just so I'm as physically defensive as possible. If you wanted to run maybe Earthquake on Mega Altaria, then this thing really becomes a Mega Altaria wall because of my physical defense investment as well as the Intimidate. I resist both of his stabs with, or not both of his stabs, but his Fairy Stab as well as his Fire Blast if he wanted to carry that for my Skarmory. Really, this thing is just a Mega Altaria wall, but it's also pretty good at being able to hit things like the Jirachi, which it won't outspeed, and excadrill, which it will outspeed naturally if he doesn't invest to outspeed me, which he probably will. It's good that his Superior, but will never outspeed that. And overall, this thing is just a powerhouse with that Flare Blitz. Toxic is for good support. Roar in case he wants to start setting up anything, and Morning Sun for my own recovery. That's Amigo this week. Up next, I really liked our Cofagrigus last week, what we did with him. So this is the same set, except I changed around the EVs a little bit. So here we have Yami, holding the leftovers with the ability Mummy, the moves Will-O-Wisp, Shadow Ball, Pain Split, and Knockoff, with 248 HP, 8 defense, and 252 special defense, with a sassy nature. Really, I didn't necessarily need Cofagrigus to be that physical of a wall as it was last week because it was doing its job with just its natural defense. So I decided to invest some into special defense so I can handle some of his special threats a little bit better. Other than that, this is the same Cofagrigus as last week. It's a really good stop to Mega Altaria because if he wants to hit me with a physical fairy move, such as like Body Slam or Return, his ability then becomes Mummy. His normal moves can't hit me anymore because they aren't affected by Pixelate because Pixelate is gone. Will-O-Wisp is for the general burning of things. Pain Split is for my own recovery. Knockoff is to get rid of items, which will be pretty crucial. I don't like Scarf Jirachi. I don't like anything that Snorlax could have. I don't like leftovers on Rotom. I don't like probably Life Orb for Alligator. Getting rid of the Ditto's Choice Scarf is pretty nice as well. So that's going to be it for our Cofagrigus. Up next, we have Pinky, who I think is a little bit different, but might be the exact same. No, it is a little bit different. But here we have Pinky with our Clefable holding the leftovers, the ability Unaware, has the moves Moonblast, Moonlight, Knockoff, and Heal Bell with 248 HP, 8 attack, and 252 special defense. This is really just my big special wall. Once again, if he wants to bring Superior, this thing cannot touch me whatsoever because I'm Unaware, so I don't care if it starts setting up. Moonblast is for general stab, and Knockoff is to be able to hit the Jirachi, which would resist my stab. Heal Bell because I don't like my team status. The Moonlight is for my own recovery. This is a really similar Clefable, if not the exact same Clefable as we had last week. I liked what it did, and honestly, that's why we brought it again. So up next, we have our Vanilla, star of the show, Mega Lopunny holding the Lopunny with the ability Limber. It's not Cute Charm this week, I made sure of that. Something else to note is that it has 0 happiness because it has frustration, but it also has Drain Punch, Fire Punch, and Fake Out with 48 HP, 252 attack, and 208 speed with an adamant nature. That amount of speed will outspeed a max speed timid superior, the fastest thing on his team. If he wanted to bring Ditto, I'm kind of banking on the fact that Grant would not think to put his Ditto's happiness to 0, because the default on Showdown is 255, the maximum amount of happiness you can have. I ran out of breath saying that sentence. Excuse me. So, that would just discourage. He would probably transform into me, see that I have frustration, discourage him from going for frustration, which means he's not going to go for Fake Out realistically. So, which means he's either going to go for Drain Punch or Fire Punch. And and whichever one he locks himself into, I can either go with Cofagrigus or maybe Clefable to handle it. That's if his Ditto transforms into my Mega Lopunny, if he brings the Ditto. But Frustration is for normal general stab. Drain Punch is to be able to hit stuff. I didn't really need High Jump Kick this week, because honestly, the only thing Drain Punch is really hitting would be the Snorlax and the Excadrill. Spiritomb as well, but I don't really expect Spiritomb to be coming. I can't really see what it does for his team due to the fact that I have this Mega Lopunny. And Fake Out has helped me get my Mega Evolution off, get some cheap damage. So this is our Mega Lopunny this week. It's going to be the star of the show. We're not doing the Troll Mega Lopunny like we did last week, so this will be a bit more fun. But up next we have Liability, our Crocodile, holding the Expert Belt with the ability Intimidate. Has the moves Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Pursuit, and Stone Edge. With 48 HP, 252 attack, and 208 speed with a Jolly Nature. That amount of speed, I believe, will outspeed a max speed Timid Rotom Heat. We have Stealth Rock this week because I can't really put it on Clefable. We're not bringing the Skarmory this week. Yeah, I guess it's technically still a week. But Earthquake is for general stab. Pursuit, because Pursuit trapping that Jirachi really helped out a lot. If Jirachi kills something, I can revenge kill it very easily with Pursuit. I didn't really need Knockoff last week, I noticed, so I decided to do Stone Edge instead, so I can be able to hit that Rotom Heat for super effective damage, and will do a lot more damage due to the fact that I have the Expert Belt as well. The reason we have Intimidate is because of Jirachi. I want to be able to take U-turns and stuff from that thing. It'd also be nice for Mega Altaria and Excadrill if he decides to bring those things, which he probably will. They're pretty common. He usually brings them every single week. And honestly, Moxie didn't really help my team very much. So that is Liability, our Crocodile. It's going to be a pretty big offensive threat. His team handles ground types very well, but the things that handle ground types can't really handle Stone Edge and Pursuit as well. Really, the biggest problem for this thing would be the Superior, and I have plenty to deal with that, namely the best Superior wall in the game, being Clefable. So, last but definitely not least, is our Handyman, holding the Choice Scarf with the ability Technician, although none of the abilities will help me this week because of the set I'm running. Also, something else to note, I'm again running 0 happiness for the same reason I'm running 0 happiness on Mega Lopunny, is because if the Ditto wants to transform into me, it discourages him from using Frustration because he'll probably have max happiness. Also has the moves Knockoff, Gunk Shot, and U-Turn with 16 HP, 252 attack, and 240 speed with a Jolly Nature. That amount of speed will outspeed a max speed Timid Superior. In turn, this is really to outspeed the Jirachi. Be able to hit it with a Knockoff. Knockoff will take it down to below half. It'll probably 2-hit KO my Ambipom, but I can revenge kill that very easily with Crocodile as well. Jirachi has to have a little bit of its health lowered in order for Pursuit to be doing guaranteed OHKO, because if he stays in, it's not a guaranteed 1-hit KO on the Jirachi, but if he's switching out, it's guaranteed. U-turns for initiative. Gunk Shot is to hit the Mega Altaria. Frustration is for stab. I didn't really need Latias this week like I did last week, I noticed. The Psychic did help, but honestly, the only reason Psychic helped a lot was because the last two things on his team were Mega Altaria with 20% health, I think, and Hitmonlee, which dies to Psychic, look at him funny. So that is going to be the team we are bringing for a semi-final match up against ohGrant. Next week will be the championship match. You'll either see me or you'll see Grant in that match. If we lose, I'll ask whoever loses between Rezilient and Sacred Thunder to do probably like an unofficial match for third place or something along those lines. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys at the battle. Here we go. It's a victory road. This is where it counts. I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, here we are at the battle. Looking at the team he brought, he has Jirachi, Mega Altaria, Hitmonlee, Rotom Heat, Snorlax, and Serperior. So we did the same thing I did, brought the same team, except switched out 2 different mons. I don't know if they're the same sets, but we'll have to wait and see. Looking at possible lead matchups, honestly, I'm really expecting the Scarf Jirachi to lead. He really likes to lead with it. He loves Scarf Jirachi. If you guys did not know, I know Grant in real life. He's a very good friend of mine, and we battle a lot. He loves Scarf Jirachi. It's like one of his favorite things in the world. So I'm predicting him to lead with Scarf Jirachi, and I'm going to lead with my Crocodile in expecting that. But he is indeed going to lead with the Rotom Heat instead of the Jirachi. Get in me, I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's kind of innuendo or something. So now that we're in here, I'm just going to go for a Stone Edge. He could Will-O-Wisp me, but honestly, getting big damage off on this Rotom Heat is going to be huge. I have Heal Bell later if I need to get it off. But he's actually going to go for the Thunder Wave, predicting me to switch out. So we'll be completely immune to that, and that's terrific news. I'm going to go for another Stone Edge, hoping to be able to kill the Rotom Heat, even though I'm kind of expecting him to be able to switch out. He does go into the Jirachi, and the Stone Edge is not going to do very much. Because I don't have the Intimidate drop, I can't really rely on taking a U-turn. So I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into my Arcanine and get an Intimidate drop, as well as be able to resist the Bug-type U-turn. It'll do almost nothing to me. So he's going to switch out his Jirachi via that U-turn. He is going to bring in, I believe, his Altaria, yes. I'm still not expecting what to be able to do with this Altaria, but this is my Altaria wall that's in right now, so I'm just going to go for a Toxic and start whittling this thing down, force him to go for a Heal Bell if he has it. He's going to go for a Tailwind and start setting up the speed. Actually, that's not true. I'm not going to go for Toxic. I'm going to go for a Roar, and I'm going to get rid of him. He's going to bring in his Snorlax, and this Snorlax, I really have to gamble. It's either Thick Fat or Immunity, one of my moves isn't going to be working. But I go for the Toxic, thinking he would be Thick Fat. He is indeed Thick Fat, so the poison does go through. He's not Immunity. And I'm going to switch out because, honestly, I can't really stay in very well against this Snorlax. So I'm going to go into my Cofagrigus because I'll be completely immune to his normal type moves. If he has Crunch, I still won't be taking too much from it because I am so naturally physically defensive. I am going to go for a knockoff here as he's going to set up a Curse. And real quick, I'm going to pause the video. He sets up this Curse, and I immediately know what Snorlax set this is. This is Grant's favorite Snorlax set in the world. Curse, Custap Berry, Self-Destruct. He loves it. I don't know why, but he just does. It's a really good set, but he usually he likes to do that. Curse, Self-Destruct with normal stab and then a coverage move of some kind. So in this case, I'm presuming it to be Crunch, otherwise my Cofagrigus would wall him. So, good thing I go for the knockoff here, because I am indeed going to knock off that Custap Berry. He won't be able to get off a priority Self-Destruct anymore. The Tailwind is going to peter out, although that's not going to make much of a difference. So I'm going to switch out my Cofagrigus, predicting him to go for a Crunch, and I'm going to go into my Arcanine, get the Intimidate drop, so it won't be doing too much. So he has minus speed plus defense from the Curse at this point, and the Toxic is whittling him down. I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz, just get big damage on whatever wants to come in, and he chooses his Mega Altaria. It's kind of weird. I think his Mega Altaria is meant to wall my Arcanine, and my Arcanine is meant to wall his Mega Altaria, which is pretty interesting. So I'm at half health. I know I won't be taking too much from whatever he wants to go for, so I'm just going to take this opportunity to go for a Morning Sun, heal myself up, as I believe he is just going to go for a Body Slam, try to get some damage off on me. That is not true. He's actually going to set up another Tailwind. I just had this battle like 10 minutes ago. I don't know why I'm so not remembering. So he's going to set up a Tailwind, and then he's going to go for a Body Slam. He will be outspeeding me now because of the Tailwind, and I'm going to go for a Toxic. Force him to go for Heal Bell if he has it. If not, then this Mega Altaria is just slowly whittling away. He does indeed have the Heal Bell, which in turn will also get rid of the poison on that Snorlax, and I'm going to roar him out. I don't really like this Mega Altaria being in. He's going to bring in the Hitmonlee on the roar, and this thing just dies to a Flare Blitz, unless he's like defensively invested for whatever reason. So he's going to go for a knockoff and get rid of my leftovers, which sucks because I lose my residual recovery. But it's not the end of the world because I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz and absolutely annihilate this Hitmonlee. So down goes to his Fighting Stab. Mega Lopunny just lost probably the biggest threat to it. If it was maybe bred to outspeed it or had the Tailwind up, then Mega Lopunny would not handle this Hitmonlee very well. But now that it's gone, Mega Lopunny is pretty set to clean up the match late game. I'm going to go for a Morning Sun as he brings in the Mega Altaria after I kill the Hitmonlee. He's going to go for a Roost on the turn. I go for a Morning Sun. Then I'm going to go for a Toxic and try to start whittling down this Mega Altaria again. I don't mind him having to go for Heal Bell because that makes him waste a turn. So he's going to go for a Body Slam. I'm resisting it because of the fact that the Pixelate. I do miss my first Toxic, but I land my second one, which is great. Interestingly enough, no, that's when the Tailwind P was out, so never mind. I was going to say I thought we Speed Type. So I'm going to go for the Toxic, and I'm going to predict him to go for a Heal Bell, and I'm going to take this opportunity to bring in my Ambipom, but he's just going to go for another Body Slam, which is okay because we will live one. And I'm just going to go for a Gunk Shot, predicting... Honestly, I don't think he would recognize that I had Gunk Shot, but indeed he does, and he's going to go into his Jirachi. He's going to be completely immune to the Gunk Shot, and I can't switch out my moves because I am Choice Scarf, so I'm going to have to switch out, and I'm going to go into my Arcanine because I need my Crocodile as healthy as possible. It does a lot to his team. So I'm going to go into my Arcanine and get the Intimidate drop. He's going to go for a U-turn. It's going to be resisted, it's not going to be doing very much, and he's probably just going to go right back into Mega Altaria, and that's no problem at all, because we're kind of just going back and forth. But indeed, he actually does go in for the Rotom Heat this turn, which I found to be a little bit strange. He's just going to go for a Speedy Volt Switch now that I'm paralyzed, and I'm going to go for a Toxic or whenever wants to come in. If he brings in the Jirachi, then good play on him, but honestly, I don't expect it to be, because I could be going for a Flare Blitz, but he is indeed going to go for a Mega Altaria. I completely forgot that it was still Toxic as I go for another Toxic, and he's not going to take any damage from this. But it doesn't matter because we get paralyzed on that turn anyways. So I can admit I looked like an idiot there, but at least the game is looking out for me like, hey, you don't have to look like an idiot, you just are one. So he's going to go for a Heal Bell the turn I bring out my Cofagrigus. That's what I was trying to do when I brought out my Ambipom the first time, but alas, it did not work. It works this time though. So he's going to bring out his Snorlax in retaliation of my Cofagrigus. As I go for a Shadow Ball, he's going to be completely immune to it. He's not going to be able to do anything. He's going to go for a Body Slam, which is a little bit of a strange play because I have no reason to switch out. I can take a few crunches. So the Body Slam is going to do nothing to me, and I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp, so now his crunch is really not doing anything for me. I'm just going to go for a knockoff to try to get damages. He decides to go for the Self-Destruct this turn, maybe thinking I would switch out. I don't really understand this play, but it's whatever. The Snorlax is gone, that's all that matters. I went for the knockoff just trying to get damage off because he wouldn't take anything from the Shadow Ball. So he brings in the Rotom Heat, and I know he can take a few hits, so I'm just going to go for a Shadow Ball whenever wants to come in because he will outspeed me. And probably go for a Volt Switch. If you wanted to stay in, go for like an Overheat or a Thunderbolt, then the Shadow Ball would be doing a lot to him. So I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball right here. Actually, I decided to go for a knockoff. I honestly was kind of... I don't really know why I went for knockoff. I really should have just gone for Shadow Ball. So I'm going to go for knockoff. I'm going to take do almost no damage to the Mega Altaria, as he's going to go for a Body Slam and get the Pixelate off. So his ability is now Mummy and he can't touch me. I'm going to burn this thing and once again try to force him to go for Heal Bell, as I can bring in a clean switch into this sort of thing. So I'm going to try to do that and bring in my, I believe my Ambipom right. No, I bring in my Clefable right here because I don't want, if he goes for a Body Slam, I'm going to take too much damage from it because Clefable is pretty bulky. But this is indeed a turn where he goes for Heal Bell. He's going to go for a Body Slam here, and I'm going to go for a Heal Bell of my own to get rid of the paralysis on Cofagrigus and Arcanine. So Arcanine could get one more big Flare Blitz off without having to worry about being outsped. The only things that would outspeed it are Superior and Jirachi though. So I would get a big Flare Blitz off and get a clean switch in. So I'm going to go for a Moonblast on this turn as he's going to bring in his Jirachi, a good switch in. I'm fearing the Iron Head. And honestly, Arcanine has served its purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and sack off my Arcanine. I could maybe live 2. If I still have my leftovers, I would definitely be able to live another Iron Head, especially after the Intimidate drop, and get off a big Flare Blitz. But that's okay. He's going to kill me with 2 more Iron Heads. Arcanine's going to go down. I'm going to get a clean switch into my Crocodile. With double Intimidate, he's really not going to be doing anything to Iron Head, so he has to switch out, and he's going to die to a Pursuit the second he tries to switch out. So, same thing happens as it did last week. I take out this Jirachi with a Pursuit trapping Crocodile, and that's terrific news. He's going to bring in his Mega Altaria here. Honestly, the best play, because we saw last week that I can't do enough to him with Earthquake for him to be able to roost. So I'm just going to set up my late game rocks here, get a little bit of damage off on that Rotom Heat especially. I'm just going to go for an Earthquake for the sake of damage, force him to go for a roost at some point, as he's going to go for a Body Slam, take me down real low. But I know I could live 1. Honestly, just because Mega Altaria doesn't have the greatest base attack stat in the world. So I'm going to go for another Earthquake in case he didn't want to roost that turn, but he does indeed want to go for a roost. So I'm going to take this opportunity to go out into my Ambipom on the roost, as he wants to get back up to full. Ambipom will not one-shot this Mega Altaria with Gunk Shot, but I can go for a Gunk Shot here and take it down to a pretty low amount of health. So he can either die to another Gunk Shot next turn if you want, and we just be trading back and forth if he wanted to go for a Roost, or he can kill me off with a Body Slam and I can get a free switch into my Mega Lopunny, and Mega Lopunny just cleans up the game. So I'm going to Mega Evolve and go for the Fake Out in case he wanted to stay in and I want to get an attack off. It's not the worst thing in the world if I get a cheap Fake Out off. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to Mega Evolve, go for the Fake Out as he brings in the Rotom Heat. He's going to take massive damage from that Rocks, and that's terrific. You go for a Fake Out and he's just going to die to a Frustration next turn. So the Rotom Heat will go down, which is awesome news. And Mega Lopunny is doing its job. It's getting out the Broomstick and cleaning up the game. He's going to bring in his Superior right here. I'm just going to go for another Frustration. It's with the stab, it's going to be a lot stronger than Fire Punch would be. It's going to take him down to real low health. He's going to go for a Leaf Storm, but because he's not set up yet, we're going to be able to live one. Mega Lopunny doesn't have the worst defenses in the world. I think it has base 96 special defense. So he's going to go for a Leaf Storm and get up to +2, but it doesn't matter because we will outspeed it. We are EV to outspeed it. The only reason it would outspeed us if it was Scarfed, and we would have saw that the first turn. So I'm going to go for another Frustration, take out the Superior. He's going to bring in his Mega Altaria, the last Pokemon he has, and we're going to go for one more Frustration and clean up the game. That is going to be it, guys. We have won our semifinal battle of the GPSL up against ohGrant. Next week, you guys will see me in the championship battle up against either Rezilient or Sacred Thunder, because that battle has not happened at the time I'm recording this. So that is very exciting. GG to ohGrant. He's a very good friend of mine. His YouTube link will definitely be down in the description below. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing with it right now. He talked about me deleting his videos because he's not very proud of them and doing some other stuff. I don't know, but definitely make sure you go check him out. It'd mean a lot to him and to me as well. Grant is a very good friend of mine, as I had said before the battle started. And honestly, I'm so proud of myself to be able to finally beat him because I don't beat Grant that often. And that did not mean for my screensaver to come up. So next week, guys, we'll be in the final battle up against either Rezilient or Sacred Thunder, whoever wins the battle between them. And you guys will see me then. But anyways, guys, I really did hope you guys did enjoy the video. Stick around and like, subscribe if you want to see more content. Of course, we have our playthrough of Pokemon Glaives, which has kind of had to take a back seat a little bit. I just haven't really had the motivation to record it. And I've been a little bit busy with school because you think when AP exams were over that school would just be kind of easy, but no, that's when they give you all the projects and all the fun stuff with quotation marks, so I get to be working on that. So in addition, we have one more GPSL battle up against in our championship team. We'll probably do a GPSL recap of some kind. If the guys want to do a Season 2, I'm more than open to it. If not, we can find some other competitive Pokemon thing to do. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video, and I will see you guys later. Peace.